and I'll get into that a little more, but thank you, Randy.
Don't let it happen again.
It was a very misogynistic world in those days. And for example, men would say things like that regularly, say things like, thank God that I wasn't born a woman. Or even more shocking, he says, it would be better for the Torah to burn than to fall in the hands of a woman. What? I mean, these people were, well, Jesus was the original women's rights advocate. And never before would accounts like these, including, I gotta get this light right here. Thanks, Jeremy. I need to tip it back a little bit that way. Yeah, that's perfect. Now I can see. It was incredible that these women should appear in the genealogy, and very uncommon kind of thing, actually never before done that kind of a thing in the scriptures. And Jesus included these four women in the scriptures for a really distinct purpose. First of all, he wanted to illustrate his availability, the fact that you can come to him, no matter who you are, where you've been, what you've done, you can come to him. And these four women come from very interesting backgrounds, questionable backgrounds. And in fact, most of them were not even Israelites. There was a Canaanite woman, there was a Moabitess, and so last week we talked about Tamar, who after her father-in-law refused to let her marry his third son, took matters into her own hands. And if you remember the story, she was married to his first son. God didn't like him, so he killed him. She married his second son because this was the law in the Jewish nation, was that if a husband died, then her brother would have to marry her to give her a child, to honor her brother. So this went 3 times, and the last son, the father didn't want to risk him dying also, so he told her, go stay at your father's house. Well, she stayed there for a long time, so she was, her youthful vigor was wasted kicking around her parents' house when she was at an age when she should have been married and having the joy of having a family, the joy of having children, it was deprived from her. And so she decided, well, I'm not going for this. And you know the rest of the story. She sat on the side of the road, posed as a prostitute, engaged her father-in-law in a spiteful act. But she took his staff, a symbol of his authority, his signet, an official symbol of his authority, and shook them for collateral on this business arrangement they made. And when it was discovered that she was pregnant, her father-in-law, the guy who propositioned her in the first place, said, well, we're going to burn her. And so they brought her out, and she said, hey, this look familiar too? And he says, well, she is more righteous than I. I guess anybody was more righteous than you, dude. I mean, it's just, but that's the men. That's kind of how we can be. And I don't think we got a lot of these guys here, but